After I left the Navy, I applied for my for a chief engineer's license with the Merchant Marine with the Coast Guard in Norfolk, Virginia, before I left there. And from then, I went up to East Lyme, Connecticut, where my wife and children were living at the time, and got was assigned to, or I got paid to go to a school in New York City to prepare me for taking the chief engineer's examination. While serving on the Baxter in the early 80s, our marriage pretty well disintegrated. At that time, broke up the marriage, and Virginia and I got divorced. Eric and Nancy were young adults at that time. They'd both finished college at that time, and I figured it was okay for me to leave. I had paid for all their college tuition till they graduated, and I figured it was safe for me to leave the nest. So Virginia and I did get divorced, and that was the end of my first marriage. Within a year or so, I met my second wife, Mary, who was a friend of one of the, as it turned out, one of the cook on the ship, the Baxter, that I was still on, and he introduced me to her, and we subsequently got married in, I think it was in 1986, and she was a wonderful woman, and we had a very happy life for a number of years till she was afflicted with Alzheimer's and started losing control of memory and so forth. So the last 7 years of our marriage was a bit of an ordeal as a caregiver and trying to take care of my dear Mary. She subsequently died from the effects of Alzheimer's, and I've been single ever since. So that'll be the end of my marriage life. As I said, I'm now 86 years old and counting, thank goodness. So I guess that'll... At the age of 70, I qualified. I got my pilot's license as a private pilot, single engine, and I was the oldest pilot that they had ever trained in this local flight school here in Tampa. So I kind of set a record. I had an unrestricted license. I qualified for all the factors of a private pilot. I subsequently owned 3 different airplanes, two ultralights, and one modified Piper Cub, which is this one. This is it's called a Baby Ace. That modification is called a Baby Ace, and I flew that for about 3 years. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. There's nothing. Flying is something else. I mentioned once before that as a little boy, I wanted to work on trains. I loved choo-choo trains. Well, all my life, I also loved airplanes. And I finally accomplished that. I got to be an airplane driver. So I like submarines. I got on submarines. I think all in all, I've had a pretty good life. I really am relatively pleased with the way things have worked out for me. I'm very pleased with my two children. My daughter, who is a veterinarian, and she has a master's degree in business administration. She works for Wellesley College in the biology department at the present time. And my son, Eric, who I'm very proud of, is a sea captain and has been a sea captain now for almost 20 years. He's at sea right now, heading for China, as a matter of fact. He went to Massachusetts Maritime Academy, and my daughter went to Tufts College in the veterinarian medicine course, and that's when she graduated from that. Another hobby or interest of mine all my life has been firearms and weapons. I really enjoy it. I have collected quite a few in my last few years after I retired, and have distributed most of the stuff to Eric. I have here a M1A 308 that it's a beautiful rifle. I really enjoy shooting it. And I have an 03 Springfield and an AK-47, which is a souvenir from Vietnam. So to end this up, I would like to say that I had 25 beautiful years with my wife Mary, and I'm still living in Titusville, in the house that Mary and I lived in here in Titusville. And it's been a good life. I've done a lot of things that I wanted to do, and I guess I cannot complain.